Hello, everybody, and welcome to Podcast Period, the internet's stupidest podcast. My name is Ben, and with me, as always, is my co-host David.
What's up, guys? Oh, God. I didn't even see myself wave yet.
You may or may not see it, because we're not sure if video is going to work out this time. But I've got a new webcam upgrade, so that should be something to look forward to either this episode or next episode. We'll find out which, I guess.
Yeah, we're gonna both have a webcam upgrade come next episode, because I'm gonna have Ben send me his old one, because yes, I think the bane of all of the issues on my side has been this webcam.
It was nice when you first had it, but man, here lately it's been nothing but trouble.
Whatever.
Anyway, we're back from a little bit of a hiatus, as it were, being as we didn't release an episode a couple of weeks ago, and I completely forgot to mention something about it on social media, so sorry about that.
Oh, did you now?
Yeah. But either way, we're back. We've got another regular episode. We're going to talk about the final 3 episodes of What If, which I have opinions on. We'll see how David feels about them come that time.
I kind of hope your opinion's the same as my opinion. I hope.
It might be. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. And then we've got some trailers like we usually do. So anyway, without further ado, we're going to get into it. So this story, this, I guess, conclusion, as it were, because I don't even know where it's going to go from here, has been a long time coming, especially on our show, because I think we talked about it when it first started happening. This is even after the lawsuit, things are still going on between Apple and Epic. Apple has decided that they're just going to block Fortnite on iOS. No matter what. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that's the aftermath that Tim Cook was looking for. Not Tim Cook.
Probably not. Probably not. Considering it was a court ruling that they now have to accept third-party payments, or let people have third-party payments available on apps. But you know what? I guess this is their way of getting back at Epic for being the ones to bring it up.
Well, and okay, so Tim Cook might not be happy, but Tim Sweeney really got screwed over with this freaking Fortnite ban. Like, yay! We won the large battle, because they didn't win the war at all. It was kind of like an even split between the two. The verdict, the final verdict on that entire lawsuit has got a lot to be desired, and then there's a lot that just like, you really could have done a better job. But they kind of won it for everybody but themselves, because now they don't get to reap the rewards. Like, yay, we won the battle of the third party thing. Boo, we're still banned, so we can't enjoy it. That would just suck.
It's unknown how long this ban is going to last too. So this ban could last well after Fortnite dies its long and slow death that it's been heading towards, just like every other battle royale on the market. But yeah, I don't. It's just, it's ironic. It's very funny to see exactly how things went down with this, because they won it for everybody except for themselves.
Well, they kind of brought it upon themselves, though, because the reason why they're being banned is because they did reach contracts and agreement with Apple, which means Apple is in the right. You could call this retaliation all you want, but it is within their legal purview to go ahead and go through with this ban of Fortnite. So there's not a lot they can do about it over at Epic Games because
Nope.
they're the ones that kind of stepped on it when they decided to do what they did. Not that I blame them.
You know what they say, sucks to suck.
A little bit.
Anyway, let's move on to our next story, shall we?
Alrighty. So, in kind of like a follow-up to all the controversy and the turmoil that Elon Musk kind of stepped into when they had factory shutdowns and they wanted to sue Alameda County in California because of this and that and all that stuff. They finally said, okay, enough's enough. This is the final straw. We are going to leave California. And they did. Tesla has moved their headquarters to Texas in close conjunction with the new factory that they built out there in Austin as well. So not only did they build the new factory in Texas, they decided, well, we're just going to move our corporate headquarters there as well. The Fremont, California factory is going to stay there. It is going to stay running. They're actually going to increase production there by at least 50%. So they're not going anywhere as far as the state involvement with the factory itself. But bye-bye. We moved our headquarters. I'm not surprised. The writing was kind of on the wall with this one. But yay. Now they get to deal with Texas. The funny thing is, they have a factory in Texas. They now have their headquarters in Texas. But they can't directly sell cars to customers in Texas because of Texas law. And that law cannot be changed until at least 2023 at this point because of how Texas legislation works. They only convene once every 2 years for like 140 days. Because, Texas used to be an independent country and they do things quite weird. We've seen that with the electrical grid as well. They have their own their own way of doing that, and that kind of bit them in the butt this year too. So Tesla cannot sell directly to their customers in Texas. And the reason why is Texas has like weird franchise laws where they cannot be directly sold to the consumer. They have to be done through third-party things, i.e. dealerships. Tesla doesn't run independent dealerships. They run their own dealerships. And that's not third party. It means they can't do it in Texas yet. There's other states like that as well. But it's just so funny. They got a factory and a headquarters there, but they have to ship their own cars out of state to then have them sold again to customers in the state.
You know what Alanis Morissette would say, isn't it ironic?
Poor Texas.
Poor Tesla. Poor like, not even. Let's be real.
They do a lot of stuff.
Anyway, so you remember our story a little while back about what is that game? Is it Vanguard?
Valorant.
Which
has, I think Vanguard is the
yes,
anti-cheat, if you want to call it that.
Yeah. Vanguard is their kernel level anti-cheat, and it looks like Call of Duty is looking to implement their new looking to implement the same sort of thing in their current VR game, Warzone, and then in their upcoming Call of Duty game, also coincidentally named Vanguard, but no relation to the anti-cheat. Call of Duty's version of this is going to be called Ricochet, and it looks like it might actually do something about their huge cheating problem. Yeah, as much crap as we gave the kernel level driver and everything for Valorant, I have not heard a peep about cheating in that game at all. But anytime I hear Call of Duty these days, it's all about cheaters.
So
Cheaters this, cheaters that.
is 100% cheaters as far as I
Mm-hmm.
hear. Like, we
Yeah,
don't play it, so we don't know firsthand, but I never hear a positive word about that game without at least hearing the negativity that is cheaters.
that's right. Mm-hmm.
So that's got to be pretty bad. You don't know. Still don't like it. But you're right. We don't hear anything about it in Valorant.
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta be really, really careful about that. Like, it sucks to have that deep of a level access into your system. Because if anything was to go wrong, that is another potential backdoor into navigating past anything firewall related. And, well, there you go. Your system is now officially corrupted or compromised at the
Yeah.
very least. But
Well,
if it
you
works,
have to hope that the people that are implementing this have thought about that and have ways against safeguarding against that. But I don't know. It's hard to say. Like I said, like you said, you don't hear about cheating in Valorant. Like not at all. I'm sure there is some cheating. There's cheating in every competitive game. But you don't hear you don't hear about it like you do in Warzone. Cuz like you said, nearly everything that's said about Warzone is how it's infested with cheaters. It's crazy. So, yeah, we'll have to see how this goes. This kind of makes me more open to trying Valorant. Maybe we'll have to see how that's looking and try it out one of these days, huh?
yeah, I suppose it also opens the Pandora's box was opened, and now we're going to see probably everybody do this. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
gonna be a thing. Get used to
As
it.
long as it doesn't as long as it's being done in a security conscious way, I can't I can't argue against the result.
Get used to
So,
it. That's all I'm saying.
yep. All right. Let's move on to our next, shall we?
Oh, Lordy, have mercy. What have we have found here? So, anybody want to build a multi-million user streaming service? Well, I guess you can do it. Um, Good luck not getting caught with exactly how you're going to do this if you follow all the source code that got leaked. But Twitch itself has basically been leaked. And I'm not talking like, oh, they got hacked, or, oh, well, okay, there's a little bit of proprietary information. Like, no, like the entire thing itself is leaked. So anything that you
Mm-hmm.
could possibly want to know, whether it be how their algorithms work, or, player information, if for some reason you wanted to copy their video player, which I think is far and away worse than anything else out there, except for maybe Skype, but that's not really a video player. But it's definitely no YouTube. That's for sure.
No.
But hey, you can do it. And with that, there's a lot of creators that got their income leaked as well,
Mm-hmm.
and definitely change. And I totally forgot to do it, which means I'm going to do it when we're done. Change your Twitch passwords as well, because God knows what else is in here as well. I'm sure it's
Yep.
everything. It's a 125 gig file that is leaked.
It's crazy.
Whoops. And they blame a server configuration change. Kind of like what Facebook had when they went down. Which was also very funny, because apparently they couldn't even get into their own dang building doing that. Which I find hilarious. So, yay, wonderful.
It's amazing. That is amazing. If you ever wanted to know how much your favorite Twitch streamer is making, apparently you can find that out too. They've got Twitch streamer payouts from 2019 up until now. So, interesting. And now, something that David and I can rejoice about. Not that it's going to affect us over here, more than likely, but you never know, it might. The European Union has announced plans to require all mobile devices to use USB-C. All mobile devices. That includes, finally, Apple. After them refusing to change it over on their last iPhone announcement, still keeping that stupid Lightning port, the European Union has finally announced plans to mandate that all mobile devices use USB-C. Thank God. So dumb. So dumb.
I like where this is going, but I have questions. If a new thing comes out and it's better, assuming that USB-C, the port itself, doesn't... I mean, I'm sure there's things that they've looked forward, as far as forward-thinking logic. Okay, with this revision, we can do this to the bandwidth. At some point, and I don't know how far forward thinking this would be. At some point, I would think you'd have to have a port change. So do they just then take the same type of mandate and just apply it to the next big port? Or does that mean they're stuck on this for 20 years in the future when we've moved on to something better? It's the only problem I have with this logic. But as long as they adapt, if it ever became outdated, then fine. Go for it. Because I think it's stupid to have 15 different cables. Make it all the same, and it's like, okay, good.
So listen. USB, the regular rectangle one, came out in 1998. USB-C was released in 2017. So that's a good...
There's 20 years. 19 years.
20 years of the same cable being used.
Just
same thing with HDMI. HDMI has been around since at least 2006, 2007, somewhere around there. Probably earlier than that. And it's still using the same port. All these years later, you upgrade to 4K. All you got to do is get the right HDMI cable and make sure you have the right HDMI ports on your TV, and you're good to go. So I think it's safe to say that you've got at least another 10, 15 years out of this port before anybody even thinks to do anything with it. I mean, as is, it's a very thin cable. It's reversible, so you don't have to worry about trying to fit it in one way or another.
Don't you just hate that with USB Type A?
Oh God,
like it's always a thing. Like, come on.
Mm-hmm. Even the smaller ones like micro or mini USB, those were a pain in the butt to try and figure out how to put it in if you weren't looking right at it.
See, just done.
Yep, you just plug it in. And they're increasing the speeds and everything all the time. So I think this is a good move. I understand where you're coming from because like technology is changing all the time. But when you look at USB itself and HDMI and stuff like that, I mean, there have been shorter lived cables. But I think considering all of the backing USB C has, we're not going to see it
Go
be
away
replaced
anytime
by a
soon.
different form factor for it anytime soon. Yeah. So
Just as long as they
I
update
think
this when the new thing does come out and say, okay, now it's going to be this one.
yeah.
That'll be
Well,
fine.
I think that they would need to wait a couple of years to see if this new thing is actually a new thing and not like
A fad. Yeah,
Firewire or something like that.
yeah. Which is fine.
So yeah.
I'm just glad somebody's going to force. I mean, it practically is the industry standard as it is.
Mm-hmm.
The only notable holdout at this point is Apple.
Basically,
Why would you not use it?
they don't have full control over it. That's why.
Because we're Apple. Exactly. Yeah, that too. They don't have control over it.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I thought I'd rejoice a little bit with that. Let's move on to our last story of the episode, shall we?
Okay, so we did hint about it a little bit, but now we're going to get into a little bit of an actual discussion concerning the Facebook outage, which I have to ask, did you notice it?
The only reason that I noticed it was because my work, we've got WhatsApp chats that we use. And WhatsApp is owned by Facebook. So that is literally the only reason why I knew. I hardly use Facebook anymore. I don't use Instagram. And I haven't used WhatsApp up until this like last year. So
Yeah.
if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have known a thing was going on.
Okay, so I did notice kinda, but I thought it was my internet. It didn't really make sense to me. It made a whole lot more sense after I realized that Facebook itself was the issue, because my mobile app worked. It just didn't refresh the news feed. Like anytime I went to it, it'd be the same stuff, and it'd be like 40 minutes later, and I'm like, a lot of the stuff would be pulling from stuff like TikTok, a bunch of videos either from TikTok or Instagram itself, and shorts and all that stuff. All that was in there working just fine. It was just trying to get to comments of things that wouldn't load. Or I noticed after a very long time, hey, it's been like 40 minutes, and when I scroll down, my newsfeed doesn't refresh. But I kind of thought that was the internet being funny. I didn't realize it was Facebook. And then later on at night, I see comments about surviving the 2021 Facebook outage. I'm like, huh? Like, I didn't make the connection. I was like, oh, that's what was going on. Yeah, I didn't lose any sleep over that. I could care less. If I hadn't been on Facebook trying to do a little bit of stuff, I never would have noticed. And I was like, oh, okay. But apparently, Facebook is going to notice, because it may have cost them $60 million. Which is kind of ridiculous, considering it was only down for like, what, 6 hours that day or something like that? Like, okay, call it a whole day. It wasn't a whole 24-hour period, but let's call it a day. $60 million in a day? Jesus.
I think it's even more impressive at $60 million in 6 hours. That's $10 million an hour that you lost right there.
Ouch.
Yeah.
How? Okay, so how do we get these numbers? Facebook's 2020 revenue was $86 billion. Experts have used this number to approximate the average loss incurred by the company at about $163,000 per minute.
Ouch.
$163,000 per minute.
Wow. Just wow. That is something.
Ouch. Mm-mm-mm. But I guess it makes sense. You do have all that ad revenue over, what, 4 apps? You got Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook itself,
Mm-hmm.
Oculus is in
That
there.
too. Yep.
Something else I'm sure I'm missing. That's a lot of money to be just pissing away, basically.
Yeah, no
But
kidding.
if that's
Jeez.
only a drop in the bucket compared to what they normally make, then I guess maybe they won't miss it. Like, it sounds like a lot of money, but if that's only 6 hours, if I lost 6 hours of my income over the course of a year, wouldn't notice it at all.
No.
So
Realistically, no.
it's disgusting. So disgusting.
I just find it funny that they couldn't get into their own building because of the outage. That was funny to me.
Badge
Might be a
access
little
and
bit mean,
everything
but
is controlled by their servers. And they locked themselves out of their own servers. Everything was up and running. They didn't lose anything. Nobody hacked them. They just broke their own configurations. Ouch.
stupid people. Stupid.
Maybe these companies need to learn not to flip a switch that might cause them irreparable harm. Because that's 2 tonight that had something go wrong because of their own server configurations. Like, you're a massive IT company. Do you think you maybe should not do this type of stuff to live servers that can instantly be brought down in a second? Shouldn't you be testing these on, like, running hardware that is rick-walled off and has no functional access to the rest of your stuff before you make these changes?
Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't sound like the right thing to do to me. I'm gonna do it all on the live stuff. That makes more sense.
Like, that's you never tinker with your money making product. If it makes you money, you don't mess with it. That goes for anything. Computers, cars. You get a project car to tinker with. You don't mess with your daily driver because that's how you got to get to work the next day. Dang it.
Mm-hmm.
You morons. Oh, well. Give me
All
that
right.
$60 million. I'll be happy.
Yeah, right.
And I'll never say
You
a bad
wish.
word about
You wish,
Facebook
David.
again. You can buy our silence for the low price of $60 million.
Now, that's cheap. That's only $30 million each.
That's a bargain.
Normally we ask for 50 each. That's a discount.
Just because we got a good laugh. It's the good laugh
That's
discount.
Right. Uh-huh. See, if y'all hadn't locked yourselves out, you wouldn't have gotten that. All right. Shall we move on to to what if?
Oh, please, let's.
All right.
Give my face
So,
a chance to rest.
We are finally talking about the final 3 episodes of What If, which, like I said, I have things to say. I want to see what your thoughts on these 3 are once we get actually into it before I reveal how I feel, because I don't know if we feel the same. I hope we do, but I don't know.
Beginning to question it now that you say that.
Let's get into it. Episode 7. What if Thor were an only child? After defeating the Frost Giants, Odin discovers the abandoned infant Loki and returns him to Laufey. Centuries later, Odin's only son Thor has become a boisterous, party-living prince. While Odin sleeps and Frigga is away, Thor travels to Earth to host a large party with aliens from across the universe. His arrival attracts the attention of Jane Foster and Darcy Lewis, who join the party. As Thor and Foster grow close, acting S.H.I.E.L.D. director Maria Hill summons Carol Danvers to end the destruction caused by Thor's antics. Danvers is unable to defeat Thor without exerting her full power, so Lewis and Hill suggest she take the fight to a less populated area, while Foster contacts Frigga with Heimdall's help. Hill readies a nuclear strike as Danvers and Thor begin to battle again, but Frigga contacts them saying she is coming. Thor and the partygoers clean up the mess before she arrives. Later, Thor asks Foster out on a date, but is interrupted by an army of drones led by Ultron, who is in Vision's body and possesses all 6 Infinity Stones. So, I did enjoy this episode. I thought it was fun. It was finally not one where everybody died. And then we got to the ending, and I was pissed off because they decided to do another stupid cliffhanger that we weren't ever going to get resolved until the next episode dropped, and I was happy again. Let me tell you, these last 3 episodes, even before we talk about the other 2, these last 3 episodes saved the show for me. The ones that I don't like, I still am not a fan of. But these last 3 episodes tied it all together in a way that it wouldn't have otherwise. Like, honestly. I was not a gigantic fan of this series, except for like the first couple of episodes, up until this point. This was the perfect bow. These last 3 episodes were just chef's kiss. It's good.
Yeah, I saw the ending for that, and I'm like, huh? And then we get the ending, and I'm like, I'm a little mad at myself that we didn't give them the credit that they deserve. Because I thought all these cliffhangers was just stupid. I thought the ending of Doctor Strange was stupid. I was pissed as hell. I wasn't entirely thrilled with the ending of Zombies. I was very upset with the other episode that I can't think of at the very moment. This very moment.
The Killmonger.
Yes, Killmonger.
Tony Stark one.
And I'm like, oh my god, there's no resolution in sight for that. We still didn't quite get a resolution for that, but we did see the potential. Yeah. So it brought new life into all the cliffhangers. I'm like, okay, now I can relax. I can still see the little bit about the parts that did upset us, but I should have gave them a lot more credit. Should have known there was a big picture that we were missing here.
We should have, but at the same time, they're releasing this weekly, so I think we had every right to feel how we felt. Because honestly, we were gonna be like, oh, there's 3 more episodes. What are they gonna do that's gonna actually change our minds?
And
this was the only way that they were going to get us both back on board, was by resolving all of their stupid little cliffhangers that they decided to leave in basically every single one of these episodes.
Yeah. I think this brings up the I've seen it a couple of times, but I haven't really bought into it because I haven't noticed that big of an issue until this series. And that issue being how Disney Plus is treating these as episodic episodes, like primetime TV episodic episodes, versus dealing with like Netflix drop of everything at the same time, and it being a more of a binge watch type of reality. They did okay with the other episodes. It's like, okay, you don't. or the other series, I should say, you don't have to binge watch them to get the full
No.
resolution at the end, and make it feel like you're not like PO'd like we were. It
Hmm.
could have helped some of them, but I feel like this is the one that definitely could have been better on a binge watch type structure
Yeah,
versus
yeah.
episodic.
Yeah, I'm with you. I wholeheartedly agree that if we were able to binge watch this, it would have taken a lot of the sting out of the ones that we weren't huge fans of at first. Anyway, now that we've moved on to our feelings about the last
I
three,
was gonna say, if you don't have a redemption feeling about this, I was gonna be a little upset. I'm like, please tell me he's thinking redemption arc, please.
um, what would you say? What would you say you'd give this episode?
Okay, I have to admit, I didn't like it as much as you, by the sounds of it. The ending was the ending,
Mm-hmm.
and had and here's why the ending didn't suck for me, because I kind of did get a little pissed off at the show, and I kind of didn't watch it. Wasn't intentional. I just didn't have the motivation to do so, and I didn't watch them all until today because he reminded me about it, and I had honestly forgot the last time, and it was all three in a row, which I think helped because the ending of this one would have ticked me off like the endings to the other ones would have had I not gotten a resolution in 5 minutes. I was a little upset with the whole party Thor scenario because, again, it felt like an episode that had no true actual meaning. It was
Mm-hmm.
another what's the point type episodes. Kind of like zombies felt like what's the point
Right.
if it was
Right.
just going to end up leading to Thanos having the stones at the end. Now I see there was a point, but I didn't at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But it was different. I kind of liked how Mommy stepped in. Mommy stepped in. It's like, oh god, he's in trouble. It
Mm-hmm.
was like
That was
perfect frat boy got burned by his mom type moment.
that was I think like the perfect resolution for that episode. I honestly don't know where it would have gone if it not had it not been for his mom.
Yeah,
Like for real.
it was very funny.
So what rating would you give this one?
um it's a 3.5.
That's
I
fair.
liked it.
I think
I
I
just
think
didn't
that's
like it
about
that
where I'd put it
much.
at. I think it's about where I'd put it at. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like the best. It's definitely not the best episode that they had up until that point. I still say that the first two are the best in this series, even considering the bow that they left with the last three. The Captain Carter
I
one
really think
and
that's my
the
favorite.
T'Challa Star Lord one, those were really good. Um yeah, okay, so let's move on to episode 8. What if Ultron won? Ultron, having taken the Mind Stone and Vision's vibranium body, has defeated the Avengers and launched a global nuclear holocaust, killing most of humanity. When Thanos appears on Earth to complete the Infinity Gauntlet, Ultron bisects him and takes the rest of the Infinity Stones, using them to create one massive drone army, with which he wipes out almost all life in his universe. Ultron then hears the Watcher, discovering the existence of the multiverse, and attacks the Watcher in his multiversal observatory. Meanwhile, Clint Barton and Natasha Romanoff survives Ultron's attacks and find a copy of Arnim Zola's mind in Siberia. They upload Zola into a drone body to destroy Ultron's hive mind, but it fails because Ultron has left their universe. Barton sacrifices himself to allow Romanov and Zola to escape from the other drones. Ultron battles the Watcher across different universes and defeats him. The Watcher flees to Strange Supreme's collapsed universe to ask him for help, while Ultron plans to conquer the multiverse. Okay, so I very much like this one because one, it continues the cliffhanger from the last episode, which is my biggest gripe in this series so far.
Mhm.
And two, we finally get to see the Watcher as like an actual character more than like this omnipotent, just like being in the background. He's gotten very close to interacting with things in points up until this episode. But this is the first time where he's interacted with something, even though it was unwillingly. So, I don't know. I really enjoyed this one. I don't think I like it more than the finale, but I do like it more than all of the episodes leading up to this point. So that's something.
That's fair. That's fair. Oh, jeez. Where to start?
From the beginning, David.
Okay, Ultron himself. Very characteristic of Ultron. Glad they didn't change that.
Very much so.
Because
Yep.
that was definitely the misguided and I don't know what another good adjective would be, but let's just say psychotic. Psychotic behavior, misguided and psychotic behavior that we saw with the Age of Ultron. So, played the character perfectly. I wish we had more scenarios of this. I'm glad we get to see it with What If. I wish there was more times where we got to see the mastermind behind everything win, just to end up losing. Like, so many times we see evil defeated and the last clutches of like the hero's power or something stupid like that, and we never get to see what could potentially have happened if the villain just had a taste of victory for once. I'm okay if they get defeated at the end, but there's so much fun with the evil characters, and we finally got to see it with Ultron, because good God, the things that he did. Almost as bad as Thanos. No, I'm not going to say that. Worse than Thanos. Because at least Thanos left half of everything alive. And it was
Ultron just murdered everything.
It was just a snap, you're gone, poof. And he didn't even do a snap and poof, done. He just went on a tyrannical rage. Like, oh my God, there's no stopping him. He just does not care.
Nope.
And it was very fun to see, the end. Well, almost the end until the multiverse scenario happened. The realization of a machine without a purpose. And you could kind of see the life drain from his eyes a little bit. And it's like, yes! Finally, a taste of defeat. And then he ends up breaking through. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, this just went south fast. So it was a very good episode. Liked it a lot.
So what would you rate it?
This one was a 4.
4?
It was a good episode.
Okay. Yeah, I think I agree with you. Yeah, I'd have to give it a 4 too. Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the finale. What if the Watcher broke his oath? The Watcher recruits Strange Supreme, Captain Carter, Star-Lord T'Challa, Party Thor, Black Panther Killmonger, and a Gamora variant who killed Thanos from their respective universes to battle Ultron. Ultron confronts them in a universe lacking intelligent life where T'Challa steals a soul stone. Strange teleports in a zombie horde, including Wanda Maximoff, who Ultron overpowers. The team goes to Ultron's home universe, meeting Natasha Romanoff. Ultron follows, restarting the battle where Gamora's Infinity Crusher device fails to destroy the Infinity Stones as they are from a different universe. Carter helps Romanoff shoot Ultron with an arrow containing Arnim Zola's mind. Zola wipes Ultron's mind and takes over Ultron's body. Killmonger steals the Infinity Stones for himself, but Zola fights him over them. Strange and the Watcher seal Killmonger and Zola in a pocket dimension, which Strange agrees to watch over. The Watcher returns Strange, Carter, T'Challa, Gamora, and Thor to their respective universes. Romanoff refuses to return to hers, so the Watcher brings her to one in which the Avengers candidates were assassinated, where she helps defeat Loki. In a mid-credit scene, Carter and her universe's Romanoff discover the Hydra Stomper with armor with someone inside. So,
God, I didn't know there was
oh, you didn't know about that?
No! Oh, God! You should have told me. I didn't even think to look. Whoops.
I looked for through all of them.
Whoops. Okay, how good is it?
It finally paid off with this one.
Is it good?
It's good. I really like it.
Okay, so I need to watch it then.
Yes.
Okay. Well, how long is it?
We'll be. It's like, I don't know, maybe a minute and a half. It's not that long.
Okay. Well, then we can.
We'll regroup once you finish it.
Oh, I got goosebumps. Woo! Okay, David, calm down.
So yes, it was a very good end credit scene. I liked it. I liked it a lot when I saw it. I
gotta compose
excuse me.
myself.
I would have to say this is like the the episode that took you on the most, or the longest journey, because you finally get all of these characters from the different multiverses in one episode, so you kind of get a tie-in there. Although I really wish we had gotten a what if with the Gamora that killed Thanos, because her and that crazy Iron Man suit, that looked dope. That looked really cool.
Yeah.
Wonder what was going on there. Maybe we'll get that in the What If season 2. Who knows? But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I just like the way that this episode tied all of the episodes together. There's not an episode that they didn't touch in some way. Like the zombies one, they brought down the zombies, and Wanda barely fought Ultron. So, I mean, call that a tie-in if you will, but she didn't really do a whole lot. Sorry, Wanda.
That was a little lackluster, wasn't it?
A tiny bit.
I would have
I don't know. I mean, I don't really know what else they could have done with the zombies to tie it in. So I mean, I guess it's better than nothing. I don't know. I can't think of a better idea. So whatever. So what do you think about this one?
Well, the end credit scene definitely just upped its rating a little bit. I still have some nitpicks about it, but they're kind of the same nitpicks that, well, I don't in a way, because the Watcher kind of foresaw this. Freaking Killmonger again. That same attitude. Like, could we have not done something different with that? Like, I don't know. I still want a nice Killmonger, but I guess that's not gonna happen. Well, maybe not a nice one, but one that's finally come to, like, a wholesome realization that he might be on a path that he shouldn't be on, but whatever. Kind of like with Strange Supreme. Took him down a dark path. Finally came to the realization he should have come to a long time ago. Killmonger has learned nothing. But I guess that's just the character that we're going to have.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. It's like a 4.5. It's still a really good episode. I don't know if I'd
Yeah.
call it my favorite though, but it's close.
I still think my favorite is the Captain Carter one.
I think
And
so.
this ending just brought that up
Even
way up
higher,
there.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's the one episode I didn't have a gripe with the ending. And then they just decided to give us another ending anyway. All right. I'm cool with that.
I'm okay with
I'm
that
good with
ending.
that. I'm good with that.
I'm okay with this potential.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, I think as a whole, it's hard to say that What If is my favorite series that they've put out on Disney Plus so far. I think it's probably the bottom of the three for me, honestly. I think the other three were stronger. Maybe not a whole lot stronger, but stronger. Um,
Okay, so between the ones we've seen, what's your rating? 1, 2, 3. What do you think?
I think. What are the ones that we've had? We've had WandaVision, Falcon and the
Division,
Winter
Falcon.
Soldier.
Oh, we've done 4
Yeah, yeah, I thought
because we had
so.
Loki.
And Loki, yeah. Okay. My top has to be Loki. I think that is the best of the out of these four by far. Um, second, second, I'm gonna go with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but that's just like barely. Honestly, Falcon and the Winter Soldier and WandaVision are kind
Pretty,
of at the same level for
yeah.
me. Falcon and the Winter Soldier is like if there's a point difference, it's like literally 1 point higher. I don't know.
They're both
I don't
really
even really have a
close.
reason for it either, but
Yeah.
and then this one has to go on the bottom. It's not a bad series. I just like you were saying, the way that it was presented and the way that it should have flowed are two very different things. This is something that they should have just dropped all at once, where you can watch it all at once. The weekly format did not suit this at all.
It's either the weekly format issue. I think that's the issue. If you wanted to fix it, I think the order of the episodes could have been different. I'm still really hung up on how it went versus what we had in the middle versus where we ended. I feel like
Right.
that whole middle segment is such a step down from the rest that maybe it wouldn't have been as bad had the middle segment been broken up. Maybe get an episode from the beginning snuck in the middle.
Yeah.
It's
See,
hard to
the
say.
only problem with that is at least for us, there's more of the not that great episodes than there are the ones that we actually liked.
This is true. How many are
If
there
we
total?
consider 1, 2, and 7 the ones out of those like beginning ones that we actually liked, there's 4 of the ones that we didn't like, which means that they would have to start out if they were going to break it up evenly. They would have had to start out with one of the ones that we didn't like. I don't know if that's putting their best foot forward. You know?
I think okay, 7, 8, and 9 have to stay where they're at.
Yes.
1 and 2 clearly were elevated higher for us. But I think the real issue is 4, 5, and 6 being run together like they are. And I think
Yeah.
maybe if you stuck, because 4 is the one with Strange Supreme, maybe if you stuck that before 7, it could have worked still. Because it would have had his character introduction closer to the end where it made more impact. I
Right,
think if you
right.
stuck maybe 3 in the middle of any of the 4, 5, and 6, I think that could have helped a lot. Because 3 wasn't a bad episode at all. we just lost the mightiest heroes, and it began the downward spiral of things. But
Yeah, yeah.
it it could have broken up what was like heart wrenching, and maybe some of the pointless, what we thought were pointless endings.
This is true.
Zombie, I think maybe if zombies was something else, it wouldn't have been so bad. But I think
Yeah,
zombies
I
is
think
really.
zombies is where it lost both of us for a little bit. I mean, I like the concept, but I think you and I both landed on the same place where it literally changed nothing.
Mhm.
If the Mind Stone gets broadcasted across all of the zombies, Thanos is already there with his nearly complete gauntlet. He's just got to go get the Mind Stone now. And what's going to stop him? Probably nothing.
I mean, if they
There's
couldn't
like
stop
what,
them with a
four
full
decent
team,
Avengers at this point?
yeah.
Yeah.
If they couldn't stop them with the full team, how are they going to do it now when literally everybody else is still dead? You can't
They've got.
unchange zombies. Like, they're dead, they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming they're not part of the zombie horde somewhere. But it looked
At the
like we
end there,
killed everybody.
they've got Spider-Man, Ant-Man, and three-quarters of Black Panther.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe binge it and it'd been better, or maybe change the episode order and been better.
Yeah. I think binging it is probably the answer. Because I mean, no matter what the episode order would have been, you get to skip right past the ones that you don't like anyway, or at least they don't make as much of an impact because you don't have to sit on
You
them.
don't have to stew and be mad. And it was
Mm-hmm.
a really long stew considering the negativity starts with 3. 4 did not help the negativity aspect at all
No.
with Strange Supreme. Zombies just
Mm-hmm.
felt pointless AF. And I kind of continued my pointless AF feelings with Killmonger because nothing changed there either. He's still an a-hole.
Yep.
Even in the
Yep.
freaking episode, the finale, he's still an a-hole. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, well, that didn't change none at all, but whatever. I don't know. I think this one's the bottom for me. I'd put. I think I would put Loki up top, but it's hard to say. It it might be Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but it might also be Loki. All 3 of those are so superior to this one to me, but this one's
That's
still not
fair.
bad.
I think Loki out of those three is the best,
I think
like by
Loki.
far.
Okay, Loki is going to be. I think Loki would be the best because Loki's got the most potential.
Mm-hmm.
Because if what if season 2 happens and it's another roller coaster like this was, I'm not going to be entirely excited again. Whereas
Yeah.
at least with Loki, I really want to see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And we know
Every
WandaVision's
episode.
done. So I don't know. Are they doing more Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Or is that kind of done too?
No, I think they've got a second season.
But now I'm really interested to see where that goes because apparently I think a lot of people are upset with the whole Carter situation. I think
Yeah.
Sharon is not going to be a part of this anymore. They were really upset with that, as were
Yeah.
we.
I don't know. I think I was a little less upset about it than you were. I don't know. It's something we'll have to get into at another time.
I would have liked to see what happens with the power broker, but apparently that's going to be scratched, from what I
Yeah.
understand. So, kind of leaves me to wonder what's going to happen with that whole thing if the power broker is not going to be a part of it, because
Right.
that felt like that was going to be a big part of it. based off the ending that we got. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've got 4 trailers that we're gonna watch this episode. First one up. Oh well, let me give a quick recap for those of you who may not have listened to our trailer section before. So the ratings aren't necessarily applicable to every trailer that we watch, because sometimes we watch TV trailers, but for a good 90% of the trailers that we watch, they're going to be movie trailers. After we're done watching the trailer, we're going to give a rating based on how that trailer made us feel, whether we would go see it in the theaters, whether we would wait for a rental, whether we would wait for a review, or whether we would just not go see it at all. I think I can count the number of times on one hand that we've said that we wouldn't go see a movie. It's very rare that we wouldn't at least wait for a review based on the trailer, but you never know. Tonight could be the night that they're all crap, so we'll see. I know at least one of them won't be, because one of them is for Dune. But anyway, yeah. So our first trailer is for My Hero Academia Hero's Mission.
Why were superhuman powers, the meta-abilities known so casually as quirks, forced upon our kind? These quirks bring about nothing but tragedy. They are not a blessing on our world, but the beginning of its end. We Humorize must take action. Even if it means dyeing the earth red with blood.
I repeat, Humorize has placed bombs around the world. The weapons are set to explode in 1 hour and 52 minutes unless the heroes are able to find and disarm them worldwide.
Heroes, success or failure of this task rests on your shoulders.
This is it, heroes. Start your mission.
So this was less for David than it was for me, because I am very much into this series, into My Hero Academia. I'm finally catching up on the 5th season. 'Cause I was not watching it for quite a long time for whatever reason. But anyway, I love this show, and I am 100% going to see it. Not in the theaters, but mostly because I don't want to pay theater prices. I'm gonna see it. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, no, not my cup of tea. I couldn't get interested. But you try to have me watch it.
I still don't understand why.
And
I don't.
It's just not my cup of tea.
Wow.
Sorry.
I'm gonna get you into it eventually.
Good luck.
Maybe I'll force you to sit down and watch the entire first season with me.
Good luck. That's all I'm saying. Good luck.
Anyway, our next trailer is for Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City.
Every story has a beginning. Discover the origin of evil.
Why are you back here, Claire? Your conspiracies weren't true when we were kids. They're not true now.
We need to expose Umbrella. Watch this.
I'm afraid, Claire. I'm afraid of what they're gonna do to this town. You see, Umbrella, they had an incident. I'm talking Chernobyl, if you know what I mean. People are getting sick. You gotta help us, Claire. Let the world know what's really going on.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I have to say, I thought it would be, I don't know, a little bit more polished, but some of that special effects is looking a little janky.
A little bit. Just a little bit.
The one clip of the dog, ugh, looks straight out of early 2000s. Other than that, though, it was pretty interesting. I don't know. I'd probably wait for a review on it, honestly.
Yeah. Quick question. Did the song somehow give you like a false hope of like inspiration or something? Like it felt a little misplaced to me.
It. I don't know. I feel like for me the juxtaposition worked. I can see where you're coming from, but I don't know. It kind of worked for me.
Felt strangely uplifting and inspirational, which is not the type of message I would be conveying with a trailer such as this. At least I don't think so. I liked it. It just, I don't know. It kind of felt strange. Could just be me.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, or not. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. Anyway, next we've got the final trailer for Dune.
The outsiders ravage our land. Their cruelty to my people is all I've known.
So you're going tomorrow?
Yes, I'm going tomorrow with the advanced team.
I'd like you to take me with you.
Are you trying to give me court-martial?
Can I trust you with something? I've been having dreams about a girl fallen in battle. Felt like a vision.
Dreams make good stories, but everything important happens when we're awake.
To the future of House Atreides.
You have to be ready.
There is no call we do not answer. There is no faith that we betray.
They're not human, they're brutal.
Well, if I'm not dead, you'll still be the only thing I ever needed you to be.
Come on!
My son, I know you.
Tonight, the bloodline ends forever. Kill them all.
This is an extermination. They're picking my family off one by one. Only together can we stand a chance.
Let's fight like demons.
I am very interested in this. The only thing that makes me a little skeptical is that one quote in the trailer where it calls it the next Star Wars
yes.
Lord of the Rings.
I was gonna call that out too. Yeah, that's that could be very dangerous. Depends on what.
Yeah.
I think Lord of the Rings is still pretty well widely accepted the same as it was then.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Whereas Star Wars, on the other hand, well, what are we talking about? Are we talking about the original trilogy?
Hopefully we're talking about OT, because if we're talking about sequel trilogy,
that's
they're in for some hard times.
Yeah. You got to be very careful about quoting that. You could land in some hot water. That's a bag you might not want to open. Let's just say that.
I'd say I'd probably go see this in the theaters. This seems pretty interesting. It looks cool.
I think so far every new trailer that we've watched for this has somehow pulled me in deeper and deeper to the point where I really actually do want to see this. Like, at first it's like, well, okay, it looks good, but now I feel like there's an investment. Like it did catch me, which is what a trailer's supposed to do.
I think we've managed to watch like every trailer that they've dropped.
I think so. So, well, I guess it is kind of a tiny investment in that sense, but they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're making me want to watch the film. That is the freaking point of a trailer. And some of the trailers we have watched have been absolutely garbage as far as that is concerned. Whether or not the movie is garbage or not, well, some of them we've liked and some of them we haven't liked. But it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's making me want to see it. Whether it's any good or not, we'll have to wait and see.
This is true. All right, well, let's move on to the final trailer of the episode, Halloween Kills.
What are you guys doing out here?
It's Halloween. We've been trick-or-treating.
Are you alone?
There's a creepy man in a white mask.
Where?
And he keeps, like, trying to play hide and seek with us.
Where did you see him? Look! Run! Go home now!
We killed Michael.
My grandmother set the fire.
No one told you.
Told me what?
Michael Myers is alive.
A man couldn't have survived that fire. "40 years ago, the boogeyman came for us. We are the survivors of Michael Myers.
Glory, what do we do?
We fight.
Mom,
Our family will kill him.
we're gonna hunt him down and we're gonna put an end to this. He is not gonna stop killing until we stop him.
If you track Michael's victims, that's a straight line to Michael's childhood home. Someone's in our house.
This actually kind of got me hyped. I didn't realize that it was going to be more than just Jamie Lee. I mean, I know you and I haven't seen more than just the first one, but I didn't realize that it was going to be more of a returning cast than just Jamie Lee Curtis.
I know.
That's pretty cool.
I really liked it. I really like that now, and I really actually do. Yeah, I was always going to see it just because it looked good, and it's got Jamie Lee Curtis in it. Okay, fine. Hopefully it's good, but I didn't realize that this was the story that they were going for originally.
Right,
so
yeah.
Now that that's the case, well, kind of just hypes me up that much more.
I'd say I'd probably go see this in the theaters. Maybe not by myself, but I'd go see it.
Again, lights on.
I could do it if I was here alone, as long as the lights were on. I'm not about any dark corners or anything like that.
No, my paranoia peaks a little too high for that. Even though I know there's nothing gonna happen, it's still like, oh god.
All right, well, I think that's it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a rating wherever you happen to be listening to us. If you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to subscribe and leave a like. Yeah, see you next episode for our Halloween, even though it's going to be released after Halloween episode. Bye.
Is it though?
Yeah, it is.
You gonna do anything for that?
I don't know.
Anyways,
We'll
bye
see.
guys. Thanks for listening to this episode of Podcast Period. This episode was hosted and produced by Ben, co-hosted and edited by David. You can contact Ben on Twitter at BenPlaysVidges. That's Ben Plays, VIDYAS. And you can contact David on Twitter at Car6by16. If you'd like to chat with us about any of the topics on this episode, you can hit the show up at Podcast Period on Twitter, or shoot us an email at podcastperiodpodcast@gmail.com. That's all for this episode. We'll see you next time.